12 ways to prove we have souls. Do we have souls? We have good reason to think so. Our transphysical souls transcending the physical realm and God's presence to them allow for 12 capacities that are inaccessible to artificial and animal consciousness. Our souls also give us the capacity to survive bodily death and experience continued existence in a transphysical domain. The 12 capacities of the human soul are as follows. Number 1 is the capacity for self-consciousness inwardness, allowing us to experience and apprehend ourselves, and to create a private inner world. Number 2 is the capacity for conceptual ideas, allowing us to have abstract thoughts, syntactical control, and conceptual language. Number 3 is the desire for perfect truth, enabling us to recognize all imperfections in our knowledge, causing us to ask questions indefinitely, until we reach perfect truth, the knowledge of everything about everything, complete intelligibility. Number 4 is the recognition of the spiritual sacred numinous transcendent reality God, causing fascination, worship, and obedience, which draws us to enter into a deeper relationship with Him, bringing us to His transcendent, eternal, and sacred essence. Number 5 is the desire for the perfect home, enabling us to recognize the imperfections of our worldly existence, causing us to pursue the sacred and its source until we have reached our perfect home. Number 6 is the capacity for empathy, which recognizes the unique goodness and lovability of the other, creating the desire to care about and care for the other, even to the point of self-sacrificial love. Number 7 is the desire for perfect love, enabling us to recognize all imperfections in love, causing us to pursue deeper and more authentic love until we have reached perfect love. Number 8 is the capacity for moral reflection, originating from conscience, which is God's moral presence to our self-consciousness. Number 9 is the desire for perfect justice, goodness, enabling us to recognize all imperfections in justice, goodness in groups, organizations, and community, causing us to pursue more perfect forms of justice and the common good until we have reached perfect justice, goodness. Number 10 is the capacity to appreciate and be filled by the beautiful in nature, music, art, architecture, literature, intellectual ideas, love, and goodness, causing us to seek ever greater forms of beauty, until we reach perfect beauty, majesty, splendor itself. Number 11 is the desire for perfect beauty, enabling us to recognize all imperfections in beauty, causing us to pursue ever greater beauty. And number 12 is the capacity for free will, self-consciousness, orientation toward either itself or toward others and God in goodness and love. When these capacities are understood properly, in light of the evidence presented today, there can be little doubt about the truth of the proclamation in Genesis that God has made us in His own image and likeness. So how does free will operate? It arises out of a combination of several of the capacities of our transphysical soul and God's presence to it. At the center of free will is our capacity for self-consciousness, enabling us to create our own inner world, indeed to create our own moral essence. When God gave a transphysical soul to the first human beings and to all subsequent human beings, He not only bestowed on them the capacity for self-awareness and self-definition, He also gave them the other capacities I have mentioned previously. Among these capacities are empathy, conscience, and the awareness of him, the spiritual sacred numinous transcendent reality. This gave a fundamental option to human beings to orient their thoughts and actions toward themselves, toward their inner world self-centeredness, or egocentricity, or toward him in worship and prayer, others through empathy and care, and the good through conscience. Both options have a fundamental attraction, but in many respects, they are opposed to one another. One might say that the first human beings felt a call to aggrandize and enrich themselves, to turn inward, and a call to reverence God, respect and help their fellow human beings, and obey their conscience, to turn and contribute outwardly. The call to God, others, and virtue was much stronger than the call to serve and aggrandize ourselves. One might say that God gave a substantial advantage to the call to holiness, love, and goodness. How? By manifesting the immense beauty and lovability of his own essence as well as his goodness and love. It was almost irresistible, but not completely irresistible. For God wanted human beings to choose him and his way over against the possibility of choosing ourselves as our primary orientation. Let's call this the original state of human beings. In this state, human beings were free to choose God and others as a primary orientation, or to choose themselves. But the beauty and lovability of the first option was much stronger than that of the egocentric option. In many religious and philosophical traditions, the soul is the non-material essence of a person, which includes one's identity, personality, and memories, an immaterial aspect or essence of a living being that is believed to be able to survive physical death. The concept of the soul is generally applied to humans, although it can also be applied to other living or even non-living entities, as in animism. So what are your thoughts about the human soul? Please feel free to comment your thoughts below. I would like to thank you for joining me here today on my channel, Enlightenment in the Darkness. Please like and subscribe to my content. Many blessings to the rest of your day.